Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Aggravating Echo 6026. Am I the beehole for moving out instead of sharing my living space, which is causing a problem for my mom and her boyfriend? My dad passed away when I, a 16-year-old female, was like 3. We lived in a house that my grandparents owned and they agreed to let my mom live there rent-free. Over the years, whenever my mom dated, I tried to spend nights she had guest over at my grandparents' house. When I was 10, my grandfather renovated the basement to make me my own kind of apartment. I have had my own bathroom, kitchen, and living room to go with my own bedroom. My mom met a guy last year, and it got serious. He moved in with his 2 kids, which is fine by me. My mom deserves to be happy and have someone in her life. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, so it's perfect. One for them and one for each of his kids. Everything was going according to plan, until the kids asked where I was staying. I said I lived in the basement. They made a joke about me living in my mom's basement. I invited them down to play Mario Kart, to be sociable, and show off. I'm being completely honest. I have a couch my uncle gave me, and my dad's old lazy boy in the living room. The recliner is only for me, and all my friends know that. 3 kids started complaining that it wasn't fair I got this room to myself. One tried sitting in my chair even after I told her that was only for me. I settled that immediately. It's mine. After a few races where I demolished them, I said it was time for them to go back upstairs. They said no. I called my mom to come get them. Over the course of the next week, my mom started hinting that maybe my living room should become a common area. I said no. She insisted. I said no. She has a key to my door. I never lock my door unless she had guessed. I did start to lock it when Dan and his kids moved in. I came home from school and found the kids in my living room. They had also gone into my room and they were eating my snacks that I pay for myself. I yelled and told them to get the F out. I called my mom to explain why they were there. She said that she decided it wasn't fair that I almost got a third of the house to myself and that my TV and gaming systems should be shared. No, as someone who has gaming systems, no. I do share them, but no, they shouldn't have to be shared. Sorry, that kind of got under my skin a little bit. I said F that. She got really upset with me and said it was a done deal, so deal with it. My grandfather, he and his uncles came and got me. All the things that matter to me, including my recliner. He told my mom that she needed to start paying rent if I wasn't going to be living there. I have a bedroom at my grandparents' house, but I miss my area. My mom is trying to get me to go back so they can save some money to get their own place. Yeah, right. I'm not that dumb. She said that I needed to stop being a brat and to behave like an adult. I said I was living like an adult until you let those kids in my area without permission. She tried to say she could do whatever she wanted in her house. Sometimes I think she forgets it wasn't my dad's house and she didn't inherit it. I feel a little guilty about this because my mom is actually pretty cool and I hate that this is causing a strain on her relationship. Am I the beehole? Edit. After talking to my grandparents, I have something to add. They were not happy about her moving her boyfriend and his kids in. They were going to allow it since I still live there. Them coming into my space and my mom saying I had to share it did not go over well with them. That's why they want to start charging her rent, especially after I moved out. Hi OP, you are not the beehole. Like you said, that was your area. It's been your area for a while. And now she wants you to just give up your area because 2 brats are throwing tantrums. And this really sucks that she's not prioritizing her child over, the guy she randomly just moved in and all that. I know it's getting serious, but come on, you're supposed to care about your kid. One thing that's interesting about this story is that you hear stories about people having cool uncles and grandparents, but they're never able to go with them. But this one ended pretty well to me, where they just came and got you and got all your stuff, and now they're screwed and they have to pay rent. I think it's pretty funny that she played herself. At OP, it's nice to know you're smart and then go back so she can, stop paying rent. Can they evict them? Because I would just tell them to evict them if they're gonna, be like that too. I don't know, maybe that's a little too mean, but I would think about it. And yeah, I understand why you're mad. Like you said, you were living like an adult and then you get demoted to being a kid because she moved in some dude that, yeah, they're serious, but I don't know. It kind of sucks that she's prioritizing that over her child. And that's not even her house, like you said, and she's trying to act like it's her house. Yeah, stay with your grandparents. Sounds like they're awesome people that have your back, your uncles too. And yeah, charge them rent and get them out of the house because, I mean, I agree with them. You're not living there anymore. Why would they help someone who's not, who's disrespecting their grandchild like that? So again, OP, not the beehole. And our next one comes from Broad Spear 3024. Am I the beehole for telling my sister in law she needs to keep her mouth shut around my child or stay away from us? I, a 27-year-old female, have a 7-month-old son with my husband. This might be a little early to be bothered by this, but my sister in law, husband's older sister, is determined to bring up around my child that they have a grandmother and an uncle they're likely unable to ever meet. Background. My mom had a son who was 21 years older than me. I saw him a few times when I was young, and we were around mom's extended family. She would try to introduce us and get us to interact, and the interactions I remember were, "Get out of my face," it being me. Or, when my mom wasn't there, I did try to talk to him because I was encouraged by others. He completely ignored me and walked away. A few times, he even looked directly at me, so I knew he heard me before he walked away. Family members always said he had a rough life with mom, and that he was still upset she had cheated on his dad, and were both train wrecks, etc., etc. I never knew my dad. All I know is my mom's son, as I'm my mom's son, and I have different dads. Last time I saw him, I was 12. The last time I saw my mom was when I was 18. I didn't want to be responsible for taking care of her. She was a heavy drinker and not a very good mother. It saddened me because none of the extended family were too great about it, so I was truly alone. I was lucky that my husband's family were all nice and accepting, but after I became pregnant, sister-in-law started asking questions about how I would introduce my son to my mom and her son. I told her I wouldn't, and he'd be told more when he's old enough to understand. She was like, "You have to at least try to introduce them." And I asked how I was supposed to put them in his life. Someone has very clearly shown, even into that his 30s, that he wants nothing to do with me, and a woman who drinks so heavily and her teenage child has to take care of her. My husband told her that she needs to stop, and they fought about it on a couple of occasions. Then Saturday, we were all at his parents' house for lunch, with family members nobody had seen in years, and sister-in-law came up to me while I was holding my son and telling him, a baby, that he has an uncle and a grandma on my side that he needs to meet. She was directing it at my baby son. I was glad he was a baby, but it showed me how far she's willing to go with this, and what if he was older and able to understand. I told her to stop and walked away, but she tried to say more, so I told her she needs to keep her mouth shut about that around my child, or stay away from us, because I will not let her interfere with something that is none of her concern. She told me she has every right to speak to her nephew. She got so loud that it alerted others in the room, and my husband told her she was wrong as well, but she claimed I could have been more polite and not made a scene in front of the rest of the family. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole, and yeah, she is way overstepping and trying to gaslight you into thinking that you started it and alerted everyone when she's the one getting loud and drawing attention. So OP, I would say cut her out. If she doesn't want to listen and she wants to be rude like that, I will never get these people who are like, "Oh, family, family, family." I have family members that I used to be cool with, and they have children, and I will never meet those children. I will never see those family members again because of, the BS that they pull. And yeah, don't keep someone like that around you. You set the boundary. She leaped over the boundary, went up to the little baby in front of you, disrespectful as hell too, and started telling the baby all this crap. It sounds like you've told her how this guy acts and how your mother is. Why would you want to subject your child to those people? You want the best for your kid. Why would you want to put him with idiots? Why would you want to repeat the same mistake too, where they forced you to try to get along with him, and you try to do this with your baby, and the baby gets put through the same nonsense you got put through? So OP, cut her out. Sounds like you got a cool husband who has your back. So yeah, just I don't know about family gatherings, but do everything you can to keep a distance from her, because she's a bit of a prick. So OP, not the beehole. And our final one comes from Spaghettis. Am I the beehole for announcing to my brother-in-law and his friends that my partner and I are going to go at it? My partner and I bought a very lovely house that's great for hosting get-togethers. Most of the time we invite friends and families. Mainly friends now. Earlier this week, my brother-in-law asked if we could host a get-together at our place, since a friend is visiting the state, and he wanted to give his friend a house tour. Just a disclaimer, I really dislike having my brother-in-law over because he doesn't respect my boundaries. We ask guests not to go into our bedroom and my office, but he goes in both. He was looking for our cats, or he wanted to check the place out. This man is 11 years older than us. My partner and I barely had time for each other due to our busy work schedules. And this weekend, we were looking forward to us time. My partner said he didn't really want people over, and I said the same. My partner texted back, "We can't, sorry, we're busy this weekend." Brother-in-law kept pushing and calling, asking why we couldn't make time, and he claims it's only going to be for a few hours, and this friend rarely visits the state we live in. My partner just kept replying that we are busy. He keeps asking what we're doing and why we're busy. Well, that's none of his business, but okay, back to the story. Saturday evening, we were relaxing and playing video games in the living room. Brother-in-law calls my partner and says that they're outside, dropping by really quick. Partner says that we're busy. Brother-in-law argues, seeing us from the window, that we're just playing games. More arguing. My partner hangs up and aggressive knocking follows. We go and open the door, and there were 7 other people with him. Jeez, he brought a whole freaking group. They had alcohol and snacks. This is a common issue between brother-in-law and us. I'm just fed up with this, and I kinda just asked what they were doing here, and that they can't hang out tonight because we had plans to relax. Went on a tangent about our busy weeks while they stood in the cold. I ended the conversation with, "We plan to go at it tonight, and I don't want people around while we are at it." He already told brother-in-law's name, that we're busy. He wants details. Here, we are going at it all night long. Good night. Stay warm. Well, brother-in-law talked to father-in-law. Oh my god, this baby ran to his dad. And now I'm getting calls and texts on how crude and rude I am. And I have no decency. My partner doesn't care how I handled it, and understands I'm sick and tired of brother-in-law. Am I the beehole? Heck no, you were not the beehole, OP. Especially that part at the end kind of really, pissed me off. Where they're saying you're being crude and rude. Both of you were being very professional in the beginning, just saying, "Hey, we're busy." And he's over here, "What are you doing? What are you doing? None of your damn business. Stay out of it. We told you we're busy. That's it. Done. You can't come over. Figure out what you're going to do with your friends, but you're not coming over here." And yeah, a good way to handle / shutting down annoying pushy people like that is to be crude, is to be rude, and to put a shock to the system like that, and telling them that you were going to, go at it and clash with each other after, playing some games, which is some nice foreplay, I respect it, was the only way to get him to back off and to go away. Plus, it was pretty funny, embarrassing in front of 7 people? He brought 7 people to your home to stomp around your nice house with your clean floors, because they're not taking off their shoes. They're stomping around, tracking and stuff, and messing up your house just so he could give them a tour. I don't get that. Yeah, you have a nice house, but I don't get that at all. OP, not the beehole, and that's funny. He had to run to daddy. Like you said, he's what, 12 years older than you, 11 years older, something like that. But he's older than you. He shouldn't be running to his dad because you guys wouldn't let him into your house. What a child. OP, not the beehole, and I hope you guys had fun that night. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.